about to buy this $60, 150-hour game a second time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the ZymCast. My name's Chase.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Cheyenne. Hi.
That was a weird pause.
And we're broke. No.
We're all broke and dying.
Well, not yet.
That's true.
Yes.
But we're on our way.
Yeah, we're on our way.
So, I will say, normally our weeks are uneventful. Or not normally, but a lot of the time.
Yeah, our weeks.
Yeah, we have weeks where we're just like, what do we do? I don't fucking know. This week, I will say, probably the most, or one of the most, if not the most, eventful week in my life.
I don't know if it's the most, but it's probably up there.
Yeah.
Just for like
It's
the
definitely
amount,
cracking top
the
10.
amount of shit that has happened in a 1 week span of time has gone from about 20 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say we were about 20, 25.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with my my boss.
Well,
Well, he's still my boss right now.
it's fair.
We were talking about like how he was fascinated at how humans can adapt to hardships so quickly, in a sense of just like, oh, like this was our day-to-day life. Say like on Saturday, we're like, so it's like, oh, we're just going about our life. The worst thing we have to worry about is like our inventory count or something, which is like, that's my reality. It was just like,
Yep.
all I'm thinking about is department stuff. And then like the next day or like 2 days later, all of a sudden, oh, we don't work anymore. Oh, like we're on lockdown in our homes.
Ignore that we're all here.
Well, I mean, podcasts are exempt.
Yep.
From
It does.
the
It specifically
I
says
know it
from the
podcast.
government, from the
I looked.
state mandate.
It's like, I'm recording a podcast, sir. You can't do anything. Oh, how big's your podcast? That is neither here nor there.
We are taking necessary precautions
Yes.
in our day-to-day lives.
I did wash my hands upon entering, which is why I can do this.
Oh, don't do that.
Ew. Just in a general sense, that's gross.
Yes.
Yeah. But I would say for the last few days, or the last 2 days, the only places I have been are my home and here, which is my second home. So
Yeah.
I would argue this is your first home.
yeah, probably.
Yeah. We feed you.
I'm here more. Oh yeah, I've been here more hours of the day, as barring sleeping. But that's like minimizing my social interactions to two families, like two groups of people that are like 3 people each.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Social distancing.
It's happening.
I'm doing my part.
Yup.
It's been in my head all week.
you haven't even watched Starship Troopers in a while.
I don't need to.
Would you like to know more?
But I mean, a lot has happened in regards to, counties like having a stay-at-home ordinance, and then specifically the whole state of California,
Where we live.
is now at safer at home mandate.
It's totally not shelter in place, guys. It's just be in one place and stay in that shelter.
Yeah. I mean, there have been a lot of negatives to all this and some silver lining positives.
Well, I mean, you got to find the silver lining positives.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I will say streaming services, like we were talking about before, streaming services have shot up. I heard in passing, I have not looked more into this, but like video games, I think on Steam specifically, have gone up like playtime has gone up like 75% hour by hour, which is freaking crazy, but totally understandable. Animal Crossing has
It came out at the perfect time.
Yeah.
boom up to the top.
They must be happy.
I've never seen a game more appropriately released during like a tragic period of time. Animal Crossing is like, look, we know you can't live your life, so live this life.
Yeah, like a life simulator at a perfect time when you can't live your life.
Yeah, you can't go outside, but now you're running an island.
A lot of people that I know have been playing Animal Crossing, which is why I asked you when you came and you're like, no.
No, I've tried Animal Crossing a few times. I always enjoy it, and then I like stop playing for a couple days, and then I feel guilty that I haven't played for a couple days, and then like I just don't. and I just never turn it back on. I played the DS one for probably longer than anything else. But like when I finally paid off my debt to Tom Nook, only to get more in debt with Tom Nook, it broke me. It broke a part of my soul.
Yes, I have not played an Animal Crossing game, but this one might be the first. New
They're
Horizons.
fun. They are fun. It's just something you need to bear in mind. Is just you put in a little bit of time every day, but you better be coming in every day.
Okay. Well, I mean, at this point, what's stopping me?
Fucking nothing. Because needless to say, we kind of don't have jobs right now.
We are furloughed.
Yeah.
Well, two of us are.
Yes.
One of us is an essential worker.
You guys said that so on point.
This is not rehearsed.
It was
Not
not.
even a little. Even only seeing each other once a week, we're on that wavelength.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now that we have so much time, we need to figure out what we can do other days of the week.
Yeah.
What the fuck else are we doing?
Oh God. Watching TV, a lot of TV.
I've just been playing games.
Yeah.
A medium amount of games. I'm really not playing way more games than I was before. I'm focusing on moving back into my mom's house just to save money.
That's smart. It's a smart play.
I mean, because God knows how long this is going to last.
Yes. And I mean,
And I'll feel like a real idiot if it's 6 weeks, but I don't think it will be.
I don't know. I personally am set with paychecks for a little bit longer.
I have basically one more paycheck and then like a half a paycheck. Plus, I still need my tax return.
Oh yeah.
Plus, the government sending me money. Plus, unemployment. I'll hopefully be all right.
Hopefully. Yeah, because I have like two.
Plus, my dad's job is still going on. And
That's
he's still
good.
making full money.
That-
He can easily work from home.
That's good.
Nice.
But
He's an
yeah.
accountant.
Can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that are suffering
Yes.
with no job, especially like I know our workers.
And I feel so bad for
I feel
a
so
lot
bad.
of them.
I feel bad for our supervisors
Yeah.
that are in the worst position. Yeah. I mean, at least as managers, we're kind of up there.
Yeah.
And so we're more prioritized because we make like realistically, people that make the higher paychecks will then have more expenses that they need to,
Yeah.
because their cost of living has gone up, based on your job.
Yep.
But like our supervisors who were getting the same amount of hours, less pay, but
Still.
they don't get the same benefits, which is tough. That's most of my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're good. Ish.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Like, worst case scenario. My dad is even like, look, Kyle, if you need me to pay for your car payments, I'm like, I'm good. I'm not that bad off. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me like 6 months without being able to make money, then maybe you can start paying my car payments, Dad.
Yep. But like we said, a lot of people have been taking that time in isolation, self-isolation, and making the best of it.
The question is, like, we're less than a week into isolation now. How long is it before people start getting bored out of their goddamn minds?
Yeah, because even like, I mean, going out on my way here, there are still people on the road.
Oh, yeah.
There's people going outside. Like you can still go outside as
Just
long as
don't.
you're 6 feet apart. Yeah, just don't be in groups.
Two dudes walking in a sidewalk 5 feet away because they're social distancing.
Yeah, but even so, like there's a significantly fewer amount of people out in the streets.
Yeah.
For how long would that last? Don't know.
Easiest way to, if you're looking for a crowd, easiest place to go is like
A grocery
a grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised because we went to the grocery store
Oh
yesterday.
yeah. No. Friday.
Friday. I don't know what day it is. Oh
2
no,
days.
It's Sunday, the
I'm
same
already
day we
losing-
always record.
I'm already losing my days.
Oh dear.
Oh no, Chase, your memory. It's
It's gonna get worse.
But we went to the grocery store and there wasn't that many people
It
there.
wasn't that bad.
But there also wasn't that much food there.
That's true.
oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
I mean, it's
does
because
it?
people have stocked up.
Which is
I heard the line for Costco that day was like a 2-hour wait.
It's all you got to do is just all you got to do is just go to the smaller grocery stores and
Yeah.
like, stuff like that, and you'll find stuff. Not a lot, and there are certain things that are just going to be really hard to find.
Yeah. It's sad because
You'll be
it's
fine.
not like there's a food shortage or anything.
It's the people making the shortage.
Yeah.
I know it's just people hoarding, and then there are certain people who just aren't going to be able to get food because all of these people are like panicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I feel I am upset at the people who are hoarding the produce that they
Yeah.
will not be able to get through.
Yes.
And then it's going to go bad. And what are you going to do with it? Fucking toss it away?
I mean, I hope so. At that point, no, I'm just going to use it as compost.
Yeah.
Highly unlikely.
Yeah.
If you have 20 packs of toilet paper in your house, you're part of the problem.
I love that guy, like that guy that went around that like bought like all
Hand sanitizer?
all the hand
sanitizer
sanitizer and then tried to like upsell it and then just he got blocked on Amazon
Yeah.
for price gouging and now he just has a garage full of hand sanitizer because he's a fucking asshole
Yeah, I think
and
he
he
gave it
deserves
away.
that.
He donated it.
I know
Yeah.
he did, but just like, fuck you. And I love the interview with him. It was like, after all this, like, do you regret what you did? He's like, no. I'm like, you're a piece of shit.
Piece of shit. But I mean, yeah, a lot has been happening day to day with the like government.
It's been literally
like,
daily.
Yeah, it's like hourly.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Almost hourly.
But in order to, not freak out, TV is a good medium
TV's a great medium.
to spend your time doing. And we have been watching a lot of TV, a few shows.
That's
Why are you
a
staring at me?
creepy look.
We started and finished Lock and Key
Yeah.
in like 3 days, 2 days. I think this is like,
Not a super long
yeah,
watch.
this was like right at the cusp of like, actually
Yeah.
before,
Yeah, it hadn't. There was no lockdown
yeah,
yet.
before this
Or quarantine.
No Lock and Key
quarantine. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the Lock and Key down. But Lock and Key on Netflix, which I mean, we were talking about like all these shows that were delayed or canceled and stuff like that. But when you think about shows like this, 'cause I know you had a concern. It's like, oh, what if they don't re-up it?
Oh yeah, because everything's so delayed.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, with the amount of people back at home watching Netflix, hopefully like their views will go up, and maybe
Yeah.
that'll incentivize the Netflix to retake these shows and for another renew for another season. But in reality, like with all the delays of the other shows, will they have
Yeah,
the
what's
time
going
and
to take
energy, the
priority?
effort, like
Yep.
It's not going to be the show that's only one season in.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is a good show, I will say.
Yeah, no. I enjoy it.
I saw an article though. Was it either today or yesterday about Lock and Key? How it's now at the time where Netflix would usually have said, "Hey, we're making a new season,"
Yep.
but there's like, "Oh, everything's delayed." They're probably not going to say anything
Yeah,
for a long.
Probably
time.
not for a while.
that's upsetting.
Yeah.
But Lock and Key. So, for those of you who don't know, Lock and Key is a show based on a series of graphic novels.
By Joe Hill,
Yes,
son of Stephen King.
I did not know that.
Yep.
But that makes a lot of sense.
Kyle, did you say you read some of them?
I read all of them.
Oh, he read all.
I really enjoy this graphic novel series. Now, to be fair, I read them 7 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
So my memory is not perfect about them. That being said, watching this show was quite the experience.
Oh.
This is very different.
I am sure. I am like totally. I believe you. But Lock and Key was one of those graphic novels that when I was like really big into, I had a Comixology subscription and was like reading all the X23s and all new Wolverines, which is my favorite, and other comics and graphic novels. This was always a cover that super intrigued me, but I never took. Actually, no, I think I downloaded the first issue. I just didn't read it.
Regrets.
Yeah, which I regret now that I don't have the subscription anymore. I kind of want to read it, but
I wish I knew where my copies, because I had all 6 volumes. They're somewhere. They're probably in storage.
yeah, but yeah, this even as a show, you can tell it's based on a graphic novel.
Yes.
Like there's a
Yeah.
lot that happens, and we were talking about this
Yeah.
same thing with like Runaways, which we can get into
Oh,
later.
yeah.
Like there are certain shows that are adapted from comics and graphic novels that like there are moments in there you can definitely tell. Like that's okay, that's a comic book movie or moment. But I mean, the story is great. Mostly. I don't really have any gripes, but I mean, it could like.
Oh, I have some.
I have gripes. They don't get in the way of me enjoying the show,
Yeah.
but there
No,
are definitely
I'm
criticisms.
yeah, I'm just annoyed slightly by characters
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
character writing.
I mean,
That's
some of that's
my-
going to be like, oh, it was better in the graphic novel. And some of that's going to be, nope, that is exactly what happened in the graphic novel.
That's I know that's also your issue was character portrayal, right? The acting
Yes.
of at least one character. And that's the funny part though, because there was like we had a debate, not really a debate, but like we were discussing whether or not we're like, okay, this character, something's off about them.
Oh.
Is it the way they're written or is it the way it's acted?
I think I might know what character
And
you're
we're
talking
just
about.
like,
You get an answer for that question?
I think like the more we looked at it, we're like, oh, it's just the acting.
Yeah, I think
I
we
guess it's
we
not
just
the character I thought that.
yeah, I think we just decided it's the acting, but it's because we
Which
never
character is
we,
it?
Oh, the mom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We-
there were portions where it's like, I don't like the way that was delivered, or like,
I mean, we never read the graphic novel.
Oh, no,
though,
she's a
so-
completely different character in the novels.
Okay.
Because, I mean, she's drunk all the time in the graphic novels. Like, that's the thing. She is a distant, abusive, like, well, not abusive, but like, abusive by like just neglectful
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
parent.
yeah.
Like, that's why the kids are left on their own and all this crazy shit happens and she has no idea what's going on.
That makes way more sense.
And they didn't want to have that in the show, and so they just kept desperately trying to come up with reasons why she wasn't really getting involved in the plot.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have coffee while all of the plot is happening back at my house.
I know. Okay, that's one of my issues. Is that like so? They later say that she was always drunk, right? And I'm like, well, why was it like? So she's just always gone, and she doesn't seem to care where her kids are. She leaves the younger son just by himself in a house he's never been in on like day 2, the day after they move in. I'm like, I know you're not in a big city.
I wouldn't say
but
it's a spoiler territory, but
Not quite yet.
not
No.
quite yet.
I imagine we'll get to spoiler territory. There's plenty of
Yeah.
spoilery things to talk about.
Just I don't know, but I just remembered the other character I had a problem with was the sister,
Kinsey.
Kenzie. There's some moments where I'm like, she's perfect, but there's other times where I'm like, this doesn't seem quite right.
I can tell you that's exactly how she's written in the graphic
Oh,
novel.
okay.
That's what I got from that. I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
understand this is the way the character's written.
Yeah, no, that's who she is.
No,
She's an incredibly likable but frustrating as hell character.
Yeah, that's that frustrating
Like
part.
of the 3 siblings, she's in my opinion the most frustrating. Though Tyler also has a lot of really frustrating moments.
Uh-huh.
But they do. I think they do a good job of giving all of like the leads essentially like just enough to where like they do dickish, stupid teenager stuff, and they do some stuff where it's clearly just to justify the plot. But they do enough like to make you like these characters that like you want them to, like like I don't hate any of the principal cast. Like I'm just like I don't think there's a single character in the show where I'm just like, oh my fucking god, I just wish you weren't in the show at all.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I would agree. I mean, I had problems with the mom, but it's not like
Yeah.
that. Like I didn't care that it didn't make me not want to watch the show anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more I got into it, the more we were intrigued, I feel.
Yeah.
So it has a good way of, keeping you interested, which is great. And I mean, I would like a season 2, Netflix, if you're listening
And you care.
and you care.
About us. But I will say, just like in the graphic novels, I love Bodhi to death. The little kid.
He's also a stupid kid. But
Yeah, but he's a kid. Like that's one of those things where
He has
I don't
an
think it's bad
excuse.
writing.
Yeah.
It's literally he's a kid and
No, yeah,
he's
that's-
trying
yeah.
to do
He has
the
an
right
excuse.
thing, and
Yeah.
commonly he's not necessarily wrong. He's just young.
I feel like
kid.
they write him out of a lot of episodes, or at least or he's not there for a lot of the later episodes.
Oh,
As much
because
as-
because it's like teenage stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, it's like it goes back to a scene of Bodhi's like, oh yeah, he's still here.
Yeah. I will say that is actually one of my biggest annoyances about this show is like the graphic novel was not full of like teen drama and all this stuff with like, I mean, some of these characters did definitely exist in the graphic novel, but like half of the show wasn't, oh, we're at high school and relationship drama and oh man, like that is not what the graphic novels were about at all. Also, this show does have a more lighthearted tone than the graphic novels by a decent margin. It's not like, I mean, the graphic novels have like a lot of whimsy and like stuff like that, but they are much darker.
Yeah. I can tell like that's the source of it's like it's darker.
And
from
I get the
source,
feeling
and they're
the
trying to like lighten it.
And I get the feeling the show, if it does continue, will start trudging closer to that darker territory. But yeah, they've taken some big liberties with this. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's the same argument I always make when people are like, why do they fucking change this? I'm like, well, I already have the graphic novels if I want to see the original story. I find it more interesting to see somebody else's interpretation of it.
Yeah, a different adaptation.
Yeah, and that is really what it is. It's an adaptation of the show. It's like taking the base idea and the base characters and being like, hey, let's see what we can do with this. I don't know, but like overall, I do enjoy the show. I think some of the acting is a little hit or miss, but I think on the whole, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do a good job building up the mystery. It sucked for me knowing the answer to basically all the mysteries. They do try and throw in a couple red herrings for people that read the comics by deliberately changing stuff. But I was one step ahead of them every time they did that. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense anymore. I'm not falling for your bullshit. They remove characters, they add new characters, they change like certain characters' roles in the plot.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean they're trying their best to like make it so like even if you know the story, like you don't know everything that's gonna happen here. And they introduce new keys, like the fire key that's not in the thing.
The matchstick key.
Yeah, the matchstick key. They changed some keys. They very much simplified the situation with the identity key. Not really spoiling anything, but there's a key where you can change your identity. In the novels, that's two different keys that kind of create that effect.
Oh, that's what you're.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, she was looking into the
Yeah.
keys.
Yeah, there were two different keys that kind of create the effect that the identity key is used for. I think that change is one, plot convenience, and two, like modern sensibility, because it's like the gender key and the
race key.
Yeah, and they're like, you can change whatever you want to. You can just look however you want.
Yeah. Yeah. When I saw the original keys, I was like, oh, I see why they made this different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
makes
then
sense.
with the way it's used in the plot too, it's used a little differently also. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And the way that it was used in the plot, we both called it at various points where I was like, off.
The show made me feel so smart.
I don't know if that's a compliment to the show.
It's probably not, but it makes me feel good.
It's one of the things where I think the show gives you everything you need to solve its mysteries that it's setting up, basically, and like some of the twists that it will try and like pull on you. And like that's good, but I think they give you like 3 or 4 clues too many, and like some shots linger on things in ways that you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That like lead you to suspicion. But I think it's because like the show thinks we're dumber than we are.
Well, or it could just be for a younger audience too.
Maybe. But like, I don't know.
Maybe they were hoping for more of a Goosebumps-esque
Well,
kind
I mean,
of like
this is-
audience.
This is a show about murder and stuff.
Hey,
I mean, you get
some
like
of those Goosebumps get dark.
not like that.
I don't remember Goosebumps anymore.
Not like that.
Oh no, R.L. Stein gets kind of dark.
Yeah,
doesn't
but
it?
I mean, not Goosebumps really.
Yeah.
Goosebumps is really
Goosebumps is the kid, and then R.L. Stein is like teenagers, preteens.
Well, I mean,
I don't
R.L. Stein
remember
wrote.
he wrote
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
Oh, you're right. Wow. What am I thinking about? Whatever.
I mean, he wrote other things that weren't Goosebumps.
That's true.
I can't remember what the other series he wrote or whatever was, but there was like a whole other series that was directed a little bit older. But
Probably
regardless,
what I'm thinking about.
maybe.
Because I read the older ones.
I read a lot of Goosebumps when I was young. I had like all of those books.
I had a few.
Which
Not
ones
that
did you have?
I don't remember.
Did you have the Haunted Mask?
I don't think so.
Did you have
I read
the
that
Cuckoo
one.
Clock of Doom?
I read that one. It freaks me out because there's a lot of clocks in my
I
house.
got a lot of clocks in this house.
There's more now too.
What?
Yeah, they got more from freaking Goodwill
Salvation Army.
or Salvation Army.
Why would you get more clocks?
Because my dad is into restoring clocks.
And then hanging them everywhere.
Yeah, that's the weird part. To sell them or something.
No.
Yeah, I get
Oh,
that.
he has sold some though. There used to be more.
They're creepy.
Got a lot of witness marks on them.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyway,
Yeah, Locke and Key. It's an enjoyable show.
no,
Like,
it's a good show.
overall, I'd say it's like a 7 out of 10. There
It's a solid show.
yeah, it's and I mean 7 out of 10 in the sense that it's a good show.
That's a good
Like it
score.
has some noticeable problems, it has some weird pacing issues. There are episodes that I think could basically be entirely cut, but like like the show probably could have been 7 episodes long and not really lost much. Like if you just consolidated some plot points and like did some other shit, there are just like whole stretches of time where you're just like, okay, oh, I don't care. I know why you're doing this, but can we move on? do we really have to use the music box to do this right now?
Why don't you use the music box again?
Right. It's like, that's just the thing that they
I
introduced
know.
for an episode for that moment and then
That is
never
true, yeah.
used it again.
There are
Yeah.
certain plot holes in the show.
Yeah, there were definitely moments where I'm like, music box would be real helpful right about now.
Right?
It's like, you can at least try it. Like, how will we ever get our antagonist into this location? If only we had a thing that made people do what we told them. It's like, would it work? I don't know. That's why it's worth trying. At least then if they did that and it didn't work, you'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, they did all the things
Like,
they could.
it's the exact same outcome, but it doesn't make a plot hole anymore. Because it's easily explainable why it wouldn't work. But it might, which
Exactly.
means you should fucking try.
Yeah, in the moment, I was so upset.
You know the real answer why, right? It's because they don't have that key anymore.
That's
yeah.
that's what we like. We were like,
But the
That's
show
also the thing
did
that
such
they
a
don't-
bad job of explaining
they
that.
don't explain where all the keys are at any time.
Yeah.
Like maybe
And-
once or twice in like towards the beginning of the show, they're like, oh, this person has this key, whatever.
Oh,
blah, blah.
I paid attention to it.
No, I think the problem
Oh.
is like there is a moment where the antagonist gets a hold of a group of keys and you don't really know which ones.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Until-
after, like, yeah,
until like much later when you see them in like the penultimate episode, and even then it's a quick glance and you're like, okay, that one's that one. I think that one's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the head key.
Oh, no. So from the beginning, I don't know why. I just remembered where each of the keys were going and who had them. Because they did briefly, like, hey, take this, you get this one. And then, like,
Yeah.
that was it. But, like, I kept track of that. And so when there's that one scene where he's taken the keys, I was like, oh, shoot. They only have this key and this key left. Like, that's the only ones that no one was holding. And so for some reason, I just knew that. But Chase was like, well, why don't they use this key? I'm like, they don't have that key
she's
anymore.
lying. She asked me, wait, where's this key?
No, I asked
She's like,
you
where are the
for-
keys? I don't know where the
No,
keys
no.
are.
I asked you for because the ones that no one was holding,
Yes.
I forgot that they weren't holding those keys. But I thought like they had them later.
Yeah, but still,
But
like, it wasn't. It was never.
the main keys though was taken, and then those are the ones that you were like, well, why don't they use this key? I'm like, they don't have the key, Chase. And then it came up in they show them really quickly, and you're like, I don't know what keys those are. But I mistook like two of the keys because they look so similar.
There are two keys in particular that look very similar.
Yeah. And I
At
was
a
like,
glance, and you're just like,
they picked it up and they did something totally different. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I will say though, this show made me want to move to New England and have an ancestral home.
you sure?
Yes. I want creepy stuff in the house.
I think you do until you have it.
I mean, she
Yeah.
has it
I
in her
can't-
attic.
I mean,
I
but
do.
It stays in the attic, or so we think.
Anyway, this show also made me think of like other shows within the same vein, and made me want to go back and finish Runaways. Marvel's.
Oh,
Runaways.
yeah. That's where we.
No,
You have to walk me through that one.
Yeah. So immediately after finishing Lock and Key, we're like, so we finished Runaways? Right? Because we
mean,
had finished another
that's,
show.
That's exactly what I think of. I think, you know what? I just watched this like slightly like gothic horror-y story about this family battling through like depression and loss, and with these magical supernatural keys and a crazy thing hunting them down. Let's go watch a show about a bunch of kids as supervillains.
Hey, they're getting hunted down.
I mean, there are similarities.
I know there are, but it's just like it's a weird immediate place your brain would go.
I don't know why we chose.
I mean, I can tell you, like, it was the teenage aspect of it. It was the mystical power aspect of it. It was sort of also the emotional, like, because their parents,
Okay.
type thing. And I don't know, it just clicked. And so we went back to Runaways after we talked about the Runaways, Marvel's Runaways.
We trashed
it earlier on the show. I don't
did.
remember what episode. But
That's
yeah,
why when I heard you were watching it again, I'm like, really?
because we finished the first season and we got like 4 episodes or so into the second season.
Is it 4?
Something
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
almost halfway. Yeah.
I mean, that's not really halfway because there was like
Was
12, 13 episodes.
Was there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Season 2. Yeah.
Either way, we stopped like right where it stopped being boring.
Yeah, because we
Like,
were like,
if you were to watch one more episode, it got way better.
yeah,
Yeah.
'cause we weren't really interested anymore. We're like, because okay, so I do have some gripes about Marvel's Runaways.
Oh, I have a lot.
which
That I just
has a lot to do
realized.
with the writing as well, and also the character writing.
And again, some of that might just be the comics.
It could be.
It could be.
We also
That's the-
did not read those.
and that's the
I've
thing,
read
like, we have
some
not-
of those comics.
Yeah, we have not read the source material for either show, but with Runaways, there is like the first season, and then a few episodes in the second season we were like, and then we trashed it. And then we were talking about it 'cause like, oh, it's not interesting anymore. Like this problem, whatever. And then we started watching it again. So I'm like, I'll give it a second chance. There's a whole new season after the second season now, which I think is the last season.
yes,
Yes.
it is.
And I kept getting fucking ads for it whenever I go on Hulu. So naturally you watch on Disney Plus.
Yeah. No ads.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah. So then,
I didn't even think about it being on Disney Plus, but yeah. that
yeah,
makes
it
sense.
is. It is on Disney Plus. So we started watching from where we left off. Actually, I think we went back an episode.
Yes.
I just typed in runaways.com.
Wow. Yeah, we did go back an episode because we didn't remember what the heck happened in
Yeah.
that episode.
And then we're like, oh, okay. And then the next episode happened. I'm like, okay, we're back in this kind of like, we're like,
Yeah.
oh, we're intrigued again. And how many episodes are there? Because this is actually a big point, is the amount of episodes in each season.
Is it?
Yeah, because,
Oh, because the last one is shorter.
well,
The last one is only 10 episodes. I think one of the seasons is like 13.
yeah.
The pacing of the show is very odd.
It's very weird. Because why the fuck they have the episode names but not the numbers?
Go to Wikipedia.
So
Couldn't you just count? Wouldn't it just be in order?
yeah.
Like 1, 2,
I would
3,
think so.
4?
I would
Quick
think so.
glance.
But you can just do simple counting. It's not much of an addition to a quick glance.
So season 1 has 10 episodes, season 2 has 13 episodes, and season 3 has 10 episodes. So when we got back into season 2, we got a few episodes in up until like the mid-season point, and that was basically the climax.
Yeah,
It
right.
was like
right.
that was the climax
right.
of the whole like first arc of the entire
Yeah.
series.
It was
Like,
mid-season.
Yeah.
It's a huge climax, and we're like, "What the heck?
Yeah. And
How
we're
many
like,
episodes are left in this season?"
yeah. And we're like, wait, what? This is what they were working up towards, and this is like, what they were trying to combat. And it climaxed, and we're like, we still have a whole half a season to go.
Yeah.
Like, what is this gonna be? And so then we watched the entire second half of the season, and there's no real climax at the end
Nope.
of season 2. It's like, yeah, it peaked and then went down, and then went straight into season 3 without us realizing.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait,
that sounds
what?
annoying as hell if
It
you
is-
were waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. We weren't waiting. So like we didn't really notice it.
Yeah.
But
All of a sudden
it
it
ended
said-
on a good cliffhanger.
It did.
To
It was-
end on the season, but it wasn't like the last few episodes of the season were not building up to a climax and then paying off.
Yeah.
It was like setting up something else, setting up season 3, which is super weird because you would think of like that being maybe the last episode of a season, like setting it up to continue. But this was like the whole second half of the season. And so we were like, okay, we're going into it. We still have this on demand now, so we're not waiting for it. But I would see how annoying that would be if we were waiting for it.
Yeah.
And then we get into like,
Especially with what happens mid-season. It's like this huge event, and then the way they end season 2 could have just been like the ending of a regular episode.
Mhm.
Like we barely noticed it transition to season 3, except for it just happened to say, "Oh, season 3, episode 1," and we're like, "Wait, what?"
yeah. And then you said like you noticed because you can tell there was a lot of time passed between filming. of the
Yes.
two.
So you can very clearly tell some of those kids, because they're teenagers. You
Yeah.
can tell they aged between the last episode of season 2 and then the first episode of season 3.
But like no noticeable time is supposed to happen.
Yeah,
between those
it's
two
like
episodes?
it's the same day
That's
or
a
the day
mistake.
after.
I think it's like
It seems like a mistake.
Yeah, it's like either the same day or the day directly after.
But that's also the thing, like the timing, because there's a character that is pregnant.
right. That
Spoilers.
Well, not really.
I don't care. I'm kidding.
I mean, how many people care at this point?
No
And
one.
we don't say which character, and there's like a lot
Although,
of characters that couldn't get pregnant.
during
The
season
females?
2, I thought I noticed it, but I was like, maybe she actually is pregnant in real life and they're just trying to hide it. But
Yeah, because
like
there was a point where it's like, oh, you establish this person is pregnant, and then all of a sudden it's like she's growing exponentially.
yes.
And
it's like, whoa, how much time is passing?
they're not addressing how much time is passing. Like supposedly,
I
it's
hate
not
when
that
shows
much
do
time
that.
Yeah.
Supposedly like not that much time has been passing because
Yeah,
it
'cause
wouldn't really make sense as to like the progress that they're making. But
Also, because at one point they're like, they've only been gone for 3 months. But all of a
7-month-old baby belly.
yeah, she's like really huge. Because there is a time where they're like, it's been 3 months.
Yeah.
They've been on the run for 3
that
months.
was like earlier before.
But
I
that's
don't
still
really
in
know at that
season.
point.
I think that was still in season 2 where they mentioned the
I don't even
time.
know. But yeah, so then the character gives birth like halfway through. Well, actually, I don't remember what
Yeah, it's
episode it
about
was.
halfway.
And it's like how much time has really passed.
Time is a concept. Move on.
That's
Yeah.
super confusing.
She's special. She gives birth in 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Move on.
Well, I mean, so I'm saying it's not a spoiler because it's like there's 6 female characters or so in total. So, you know,
One of them gets
Yeah.
pregnant and then has a baby.
yes.
There's way more than that if you
Females?
count all the parents.
Well, I was counting the parents.
Oh, in that case, well, because there's 4.
You'd think there'd be a mom for every kid.
There's
Oh, you're right.
yeah, because there's 4 girls in the Runaways alone.
Is there?
Yeah, right.
Oh, there are. Yeah. And
there's
then
4 girls in the
You're
Runaways.
watching
plus,
this show, right?
Yeah.
There's like 10 females in.
Well, no, was it the last episode that we watched? He was like, "Wait, was that all of them?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Are you sure? I think someone's missing." I'm like, "Count."
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many you lose track. You know,
It's like 5 of them. Wait, yeah? I don't know.
there's 6.
13
Yeah, there's 13.
Well, there are the
females.
17.
Just females.
Just females. There's
Jesus Christ.
there's 36 men.
Wow.
And that's just main cast.
Yes.
That's not counting any supporting.
Yeah, we're not
characters.
counting like the Cloak and Dagger added 2 characters that pop up somewhere apparently.
See, now you got to watch Cloak and Dagger. See,
That's what I thought she was.
No, the characters from Cloak and Dagger are eventually showing up somewhere
Oh.
yeah,
in
because
season
you're
3.
right.
yeah,
Okay.
because it's like a backdoor pilot for the Cloak and Dagger show, right? Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess
No,
I know
I
we're
thought
watching
Cloak
next.
and Dagger was already canceled too.
What?
It was canceled at the same time.
What?
Yeah, because
It's just a crossover.
yeah, it's a crossover. Because at that point, Cloak and Dagger was also canceled.
Only one season?
Maybe
Oh, season 2.
it's from
Wait.
Freeform.
I knew that. I
don't
don't know.
Yeah, when Disney Plus was announced, and they were like, "Runaways gets 1 more season." Cloak and Dagger was also cut. This was when they were doing all the Marvel cuts, though.
Yeah.
And so Cloak and Dagger was
Goodbye,
just
Daredevil.
like, bye. Yeah.
I miss you, Daredevil.
Poor Kyle.
You were too good for this world.
You know the funny thing? When we first started watching Lock and Key,
Mm-hmm.
I had in my mind Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, really?
Why?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Had you seen Cloak and Dagger?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's probably why.
Well, yeah, just
They're
because
not alike at all.
no, because I had seen both comics
Oh.
on like when I was looking up things, and it's like this and this. But yeah, so for Runaways, like we said, we had issues with the writing, just because certain characters are stupid.
But
And-
sometimes they do things that are slightly out of their
no,
character.
that's what I meant.
That's
Oh,
really
It's like-
just. It's always those fun moments where you can always tell when a writer's like, "I need this to happen for the plot."
It's like, why are you doing this? Plot.
Yeah.
Plot reasons.
There's
Shut
a
up.
lot that they did that with
Yeah.
in season 2.
What
well,
a
I mean, okay.
well-written sounding show.
So in season 2 though, actually I can't remember because where the cutoff is.
Yeah, because I
for
mean,
the two.
they flow right into each other. It's hard to tell.
Oh geez. Okay, yeah. So actually in season 3, there's one character that oh no, it is season 2. There's one character that throughout the course of the whole season kind of like their change in their behavior makes sense. It's like it pays off as to why, because like we were questioning throughout the course of the season, like people are not acting according to their character.
Yeah.
And it could have been one reason, but it wasn't. If you watched it, like that would be a spoiler. But
I mean, for a show that came out like more than a year ago.
So
Yeah, because there are certain reasons why certain characters are acting outside of their normal character self. But then other characters, it's just like their decisions don't make sense for their character. And then there's like this one character that's kind of slowly transitioning, and by the end it pays off. So like, okay, that makes sense. But then why the fuck are these people stupid? Like,
Yeah.
why are these
It's
people?
like, why did some of these characters start acting out of character? And this one kind of was like, it was a natural progression kind of for his character. But it's weird.
Yeah.
Like maybe they were trying to throw us off, but what threw me off is that they weren't acting like themselves.
And then there's the character of Molly.
Okay, she just always bothers me.
Because she is supposed to be a now 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I don't know how old the actress is, but
She's older than her character.
well, yes, that's
by a
very
lot.
apparent. And but it's like they're writing her character, I'm sure true to the comic, as in she's supposed to be like childish,
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like she's really childish.
and it just does not fit.
It feels awkward because sometimes she acts like a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Where her character's supposed to be 14 for a good portion,
Yeah.
but they're writing her like a 7 to 10-year-old.
why?
But then the actress looks way older than 14.
Everything about this sounds terrible.
It does.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's like, yeah, and every time she says something like a kid would say, like she's pop culture type thing. Like she's just like making these like slang references or something, making comments and references to things that would be like a younger crowd. It's super off-putting, and I'm like, stop doing that.
Yeah, because then she delivers it in more of a kid-like
Yeah, and the
tone.
delivery is so awkward because it's supposed to be like a kid-like tone, but it doesn't like fit.
It doesn't fit her, the actress. And so
So really what I'm taking away from all this is I'm never going to watch this show.
okay, well, here we go, Kyle. We get into season 3, and it's like, this is what the show should have just been.
Yeah. I will say that I do still like the show. It still intrigues me, and it's still very interesting.
So
What?
okay, it's so weird. It's not weird. It's unfortunate because it seems like season 3, maybe the end of season 2, they finally understood like this is what we want to do, but it's like we're done.
Yeah.
Season 3, you could tell they're like, well, crap, we know, because they knew going into season 3 that was their last season. So they're like, well, crap, we wanted to introduce this thing. So let's just let's quickly wrap this up, what we had going on, and we're going to make all our characters grow up real fast, guys. Because now the characters are fully who they are in the comic books. Because I did research because I was like, all of a sudden you're confirming these things that was like nothing in the beginning. Especially with like the character Nico. Because from what
Best
I know,
character.
yeah, best character. Always my number one character, and she just gets better anyway.
Because she's a fucking Asian goth chick. She's Wiccan,
Yes.
and you identify with her.
Sure. Anyway, but so I know from the comics, she's a witch, like
Yeah.
an actual witch. But in the show, they like brush that off. They're like, she's into Wiccan stuff. Never confirm anything. They're just like, she dabbles in this. And then all of a sudden, season 3, it's like, we confirm magic is real. Magic is real, guys. We didn't have time to deal with that earlier. We were dealing with like some other crap. But you know what? We need this to happen now because we're ending and we wanted this bad guy to be here, which was announced. It's Morgan Le Fay. So it's like, we need to make this make sense. So crash course into Wiccan, guys, because all of a sudden from the beginning of season 3, they're like, she introduces all the Wiccan things. And it's like, well, where were you doing this before?
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It's like, you could have done this earlier. It's so weird.
This just makes me not want to watch the show.
Oh no. Just watch season 3, Kyle.
Why
Season
the
3 is
fuck
great.
would I do that?
You don't need anything else.
That's not a good sign for a show that, one, it
Well-
doesn't really get great until season 3, and 2, you can skip the first 2 seasons of the show. Even though 3 apparently were mid-plot line. because it just is an arbitrary break.
Yeah, it's so
None of
weird.
that sounds good.
It's so the way they end their like major arcs is so odd because it's like season 1 to half of season 2, and then season 2 to half of season 3, and now season 3 halfway. The last half is something completely different.
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah,
is-
because at least like the first from episode 1 until season 2. Actually, no, from episode 1 until season 3, episode like 4. Yeah, episode 4 is about the entirety of the main plot line. So like that is the first, like the main plot takes that long basically. And then halfway through season 3 after episode 5 is an entirely different plot.
yeah.
And there's only 5 episodes left.
This makes me think that like somebody watched Game of Thrones is like, it's really interesting that they basically have the climax of their every season in like the 9th of 10 episodes. So what if we do it like in the 5th of 10 episodes and just spend the next half of the season just doing stuff. It's like, I think I have a really great idea for a show here, guys. Every season's going to be 10 episodes long. The 7th episode of every season, we're going to have the best climactic episode. And then we're just going to have 3 seasons, everybody hanging out and having a good time. And then you'll really love these characters and not feel like you're wasting your time at all in any way for these next 3 hours.
Yeah, well, it sucks because the characters are actually, like, a good portion of them are pretty cool. I like a lot of them, not all of them, but, like, I wish they had started off with, like, season 3. With the way they wrote season 3 is how they should have started. Because the first season itself is so weird because they're called the Runaways, right?
Uh-huh.
It takes them until the last 20 minutes of the last episode to be the Runaways.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, yeah. No, not even the last 20 minutes, like the last scene.
Oh, you're right.
That's when they finally
They don't run away until
away.
like the very end of the last one.
That's
and it's
really
like,
weird because that is not how the comic goes at all.
Yeah, because isn't it like basically the whole,
Yes.
except for the very maybe they describe, I think. I've read part of the first one.
It's been years since I read the first issue, but I read the first issue of the Runaways, and by the end of that, like they're like, oh crap, this is what's going on. And then I think in the second issue, they're like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, the whole first season is them just like milling around like,
It's like, our parents are evil.
Our parents are evil. No, we didn't see what we saw. We don't know what's happening.
That sounds super annoying. And I guess what?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm going to watch this show.
I don't know how we got through that first season. I think we watched because the last episode was so good that we were like, we need to watch season 2, and season 2 was already out.
I tend not to give shows 10 episodes to get good.
I think we weren't doing it.
I don't remember.
I don't
There's
know.
always better things to do.
I don't know how we got through that.
The fact is, if you're enjoying the show, that's all that really matters. It's just I
Yeah.
have no desire to watch this based on everything you guys are saying.
Yeah, because even
Hey, I'm cool. I'm interested now.
Again, that's great. You guys have a couple episodes left. I hope you enjoy it.
yeah, there are points in the show that were like I'm just like the writing is subpar, where I'm like, okay, the pacing of this doesn't make sense. Like we're talking about the characters.
The acting is a little weird.
Well, the acting is pretty fine.
Okay, good.
It's just that one character.
I'm just
Yeah,
like waiting
just
for
one.
like, I'm like, what's the
And I don't think
unanimously good
that's
thing?
not really her fault.
Yeah, it's not like
I think she was just cast oddly.
yeah.
A bunch of bad decisions made.
Yeah, it's either they should have just upped her age to fit the actress, or they should have picked a different actress to be more.
Or they should have just
That
had, like,
age.
if they really wanted to write the character the way they did, just have it be like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, pick someone else to have been there. Like it's just, it was a odd choice.
And then there's some like it's weird because of the way the plot lines fit. They have to like rush certain times, and other times they're like really lounging around.
Yeah. There's some episodes that definitely like nothing of consequence happens. And because of that, a lot of the show feels not high stakes until something really bad happens. And it's like, oh shoot, okay. So that's what we're dealing with? Sure. Just there's a lot of filler.
Whoa.
What?
I was looking at I had the synopsis.
Did you look at the wrong episode?
No, I looked at the very last episode and there's a time jump.
What a shock.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that in an article once.
Here's what I'm
We're
going to
dealing
say
with magic. I'm
really
not
quick.
surprised.
And I'm going to address this to all the people at home listening / watching. They didn't tell me the majority of this episode was just going to be talking about the Runaways. Like, I wish I'd watched that instead of finishing Lock and Key to make sure we had time for this conversation. Because Lock and Key was like a 15-minute conversation. We've been talking about this for like 30.
That's true. You know,
I didn't think I had much to say on it.
I don't. You know what our problem is that we all still kind of liked Lock and Key, and we didn't have a lot to rant about with Lock and Key.
It's true. It's like we all generally agree. It's like it's a good show that's enjoyable, and you guys have like all these incredibly entertaining things to say. But I'm sitting here like I have nothing to add to this because I've never seen this fucking show, and honestly, I'm glad about it.
So next week we'll update you on the end of
Next week
Runaways.
I'll just watch all of the Runaways. What the fuck else am I doing? I guess just watch 3 seasons of a TV show in a week.
How many kid?
I don't do that.
Oh.
That's not how I do. Shows I love, I don't finish that fast. Like ever.
Oh.
Even Daredevil season 3, which I was just so in love with, took me like a week and a half.
I did that with Mad Men.
Mad Men is
not like
not the kind
7
of show I
seasons
can like buzzsaw
I
through.
freaking binged that show. Ooh.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
I mean, and it helps that you have your daddy there. But
Oh my gosh.
John Hamm.
the ham daddy.
And that's where I first saw him.
That reminds me. They have a
Baby Driver reference in Runaways. Yeah.
That's great.
I just thought of that too.
That's funny.
That's fun. But I mean, Runaways is definitely a show. Like when we were watching it,
Runaways, definitely a show.
it's a show where it's like you can tell when it's a product of when it was made. Because even watching the second season, it was definitely like 2 years ago because they were talking about certain things in popular culture. And I know like towards the end of that, I was like
It
flossing
definitely
and,
dates itself.
Do you ever question like how many shows are going to be set in 2020, considering like it greatly limits the amount of things you can do in a plot? It's like, well, all the characters weren't locked inside the whole time, so clearly they lived in an alternate reality where coronavirus didn't exist.
can you think of how much like media
we're gonna have after this.
that's going to be based on this time period or like have reference to this time period in some way?
A lot.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is going to be everyone's thing for a while.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're going to get a lot of corona babies.
Yes. The new baby boomers.
Yeah.
Yep.
The new boomers.
The viral boomers.
The viral boomers.
Oh, no. We don't need more humans.
No.
You're having internet issues,
I'm
aren't you?
having internet issues. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this.
Mine's fine.
Well, good for you.
Obviously, it's not because this is also your internet.
Oh no, my computer's.
But I mean, also good. We were talking about before the podcast, transitioning out of Runaways. Other things that to be doing in while you're trapped inside.
Read books.
Yeah.
I've been cleaning.
You can only do that for so long.
Oh, you don't know my family.
You're almost cleaning right now.
Yeah, she will do that every single day.
It's already clean.
Also, exactly my point, Chase. Thank you. I've been exercising.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
So many people are outside.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, well, at least one thing will come out of this. People will make an effort to be healthier.
Because they're locked in their houses and you need an excuse to go out and
Yep.
might as well do jogging.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wonder how long
I've started jogging every morning.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's good for you.
It's
I'm
good.
so surprised.
I mean, I would never.
I used to be able to run 5 kilometers.
Oh, geez. I've never been able to run.
5 kilometers.
Yeah, I could do a 5K. Okay. What?
I was
That's
like, why are you measuring kilometers?
because it's a 5K.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No. Besides all that stuff, whatever.
Well, I could jog a 5K, to be fair. I can't like sprint it.
Okay. Yeah, I can't run. I can, but I can't.
Fair
Weren't you
enough.
on track?
Yes, that's the sad part.
But he
can't do-
wasn't on cross country.
I was not a distance runner.
You're right. You're right. That's different. To me,
I
it's
did
all running.
relays.
I could be in track.
4
Just
by
chucking
1.
that shot put.
That's
Chucking
field.
that javelin.
I did that in middle school.
Chucking that discus.
That was the only
It's like,
thing I could
just
do.
chuck it.
Was anything that was throwing. I could do throwing.
Kyle's the chucker.
Kyle the Chucker. But besides exercise, besides books, we used to have a regularly scheduled game night. And
It's over.
Well, you know,
on
just
hiatus,
It's on hiatus.
and it's changing. Yes.
Well, we've been on hiatus for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we haven't met in like a month for various reasons. Like first, I
Yeah.
remember the first week, but then the second week I went to Disneyland.
Was that the
the third week I was scheduled to work against my availability, and then we just had no work.
Yeah.
But now, you know,
didn't
everybody
know
doesn't
what
want to
to do.
gather in the same place.
Yes, now we can't
Yeah.
gather all in the same place. So we're transitioning online, and I mean
Yay.
there's various ways to do games online. I mean, if you want to do like board games,
You're getting called out by IGN for your ad blocker.
fuck you, IGN. I don't want to support you with your ads. No,
But
I'm
they're
kidding.
desperately trying to stay alive.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Support your small business. Buy a $5
Yeah,
It's
it's
discount.
not a small business.
They're
No,
probably
IGN.
having rough times, but they're not what I would call a small business.
No. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so there's different ways of playing online. If you want to play board games online, certain ones. What were you saying?
Tabletop Simulator is a big one.
Oh, yeah, Tabletop Simulator is a big one. That's actually a game that I've wanted for a while.
I have it. It's great.
Okay, I might get it then.
Cool.
But then there are also the actual developers of certain board games have their board games online.
Yes.
I think it's like
Catan is
Catan,
free.
Dominion.
Dominion is also free.
Great games.
Yeah.
Ticket to Ride is, I think, $10.
That is also
online.
a game I like. I don't know if I'd call it a great game.
It's a game I play.
I feel like I'm the only person in my friends group that likes that game. Though,
I like
so
that
don't
game.
play
Oh,
much.
I liked it.
Okay, in the
fun.
friends group that I used to play board games with
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time.
I know what you mean.
Get it.
We're not your friends, Kyle.
You don't invite me places either, fucker.
That's not true. We invited you to Utah.
We're not doing that anymore.
Nope.
Not anytime soon. So there is also besides Tabletop Simulator, if you want to play a tabletop system, there is like virtual tabletops like Roll20 or Fantasy
Grounds.
Fantasy Grounds, yeah. Fantasy Grounds. And other things you can play things like Dungeons and Dragons on, Call of Cthulhu, a whole slew of different tabletop games. I mean, this is probably a great time to introduce yourself into those kind of things. If you're
They're good hobbies. They're fun to play.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Be
are
social
not
from a
wanting to,
Socially distant.
berate
Yeah.
your time with TV shows and movies and stuff, you can always, find a new hobby.
Well, you can only consume
You just play.
so
You can
much.
just play 7 games of Dungeons and Dragons, one every day with different groups of people.
I was
Can
actually
you
thinking
And
that.
imagine
good
that?
luck ever keeping all that shit straight.
Yeah,
Like keep a journal.
Yeah, but like even just like your characters and your characterization, you play the same dude. in
You
every-
can play same accent if you were doing a voice if you wanted to.
I'm Grobnar, the bard. It's like what? No. Exactly. It's the Goliath bard.
I want to smash these tunes. These drums.
Got an electric guitar. It's a magical relic from an ancient civilization.
I was actually thinking, I was talking to Cheyenne about this though, because within our friend group, we're actually going to start playing on Roll20 once we set that up. Because we're going to start probably like a series of mini campaigns, not like a full long one, but short modules. And I was talking to Cheyenne saying that, because we used to meet every week. I'm like, oh, now we can just meet every day.
Yeah.
And then play an 8-hour session every day.
Jesus, no.
A how long session?
He said 8 hours every day.
Okay, first of all,
That's like having a full-time job that's
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
There you go.
No,
Okay.
I guarantee you, it would start feeling
Yeah.
like a fucking job real fast.
I know.
yeah.
sure.
First of all, I still work, Chase.
Oh, you do still work this.
Well, I guess you can't play.
Can't do that.
Hey, Vaughn's apparently has a lot of chicken right now. Good to know.
But we,
I should tell my mom. She's been looking for chicken.
My buddy Andrew does shop professionally.
oh yeah,
He's never been busier.
Oh,
that's good.
hey,
And-
He's also constantly surrounded by people who might be sick. Which also has a lot to do with why we have to
Yeah.
have a conversation after this.
Okay.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why, like, even though I'm glad I get to still work because, like, I need money.
Yes.
But I still, like, my job involves going to houses and doing therapy for kids. But I'm like going into houses with kids.
Yeah.
And kids
A lot
are
of chicken.
gross.
Oh, that's a lot of chicken.
Oh my gosh. They were ready.
They were prepared.
They're like, we know you want the chicken.
Way to go, Vaughns.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, I have a slight worry because I
For
still
getting sick, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, and you have reason to worry more
Yeah.
than most. Not necessarily for you, but
Yeah, not for me, but because I'm in a household with people who are high risk. So,
yeah.
It's exclusively people that are high risk.
You're
Yeah.
right. Everyone but me.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's also other things to be doing with your time. Learning an instrument. I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
buy a
Chase.
mandolin.
Okay, so what we're
How are you gonna
learning
get
here.
that? Though.
Shipping. Amazon still ships.
No, I mean, what we're learning here then is Chase is now making efforts to start up Kids on Bikes.
Yeah. Oh, Chase,
I
we
actually-
came up with a new band name.
What?
Or-
Better than
We
Kids on
can't
Bikes?
say it on the podcast.
Oh,
Someone's
okay.
gonna steal
Okay.
it.
Okay.
But yeah,
Better than Kids on Bikes? Well, then, when we talk about your real band, we'll give it the fictional name of Kids on
Yeah.
Bikes.
I had my journal, my little notebook, and I've been writing down band names and shit.
I got some great band names, in my back pocket too. It's like Kids on Bikes.
Kids on Bikes is such a
Bikes
good
on Kids.
name. Oh no, I just started typing
the
in
cover
Bikes
band.
on Kids.
It's the cover band.
We did look up Kids on Bikes band.
Yes.
That wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
See, like, I'm back to actually watching our podcasts after they come out. There was a period of time where I stopped, so now I can, not reference things repeatedly, not realizing they weren't referenced before. Again, the fact that we did like freaking a week reference 2 weeks in a row was pretty funny, and we had no clue the second time. It's like
Yeah.
you'd think you'd remember a thing you said a week ago, but you do not.
Speaking of Kids on Bikes, I did see a lot of kids on bikes out there when
Yeah.
on my way
Good
here.
for them.
There are a lot of kids on bikes.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be.
Corona
but there
bikes.
are Corona bikes and Lyme disease.
Sipping on Corona on your bike. Don't drink underage, kids.
Don't drink underage kids.
What are
Commas.
they, vampires?
Commas, they're important. Yeah, it's a nice little public service announcement for local vampires. Don't drink underage kids, you perverts.
Vampire pedophiles.
Vampedophiles.
Pedophiles.
This is bad. Abort.
Abort.
Oh no. But actually, yes, I think I'm gonna buy a mandolin.
I mean, cool. That's definitely the headliner of every band I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You're filling your niche.
Yeah. And then we can go to Utah and I can bring my,
my
my mandolin
Eventually.
to the thing that we were going to go to.
One day.
Yeah.
One day. But we do got to do that.
All right.
Really quick.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we can basically close this off now, but I do want to very quickly touch on some spoilery things for Locke Key.
Okay.
Oh, fun.
Otherwise, what the fuck was the point of me finishing the goddamn show these last couple of days, you fucks? Right, so
We gave you something to do, Kyle.
I stopped doing things I was doing to do that.
That was your choice.
It's not like you don't have time.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's like you guys were like, have you seen it? I'm like, I haven't finished it. I'm like, I can try and finish, but you're good. Suggesting I needed to watch the whole thing.
I'm pretty sure you said I'm not doing anything anyway.
Yeah.
I did say that, but I was just making you feel better.
Okay.
I'm still trying to beat Langrisser 1 and 2, goddammit. Gonna platinum that bitch.
That's a funny name.
I mean, basically, I'm just bouncing back and forth between doing a couple things, which is Langrisser 1 and 2, trying to platinum that, just playing Doom Eternal. It's a lot of fun.
Actually, awesome. Probably gonna. That's the thing. Like, I want to buy a mandolin. I need to buy an audio interface to use my XLR microphone at home.
Yep.
I want to buy Animal Crossing. Did I say Animal Crossing?
No, not yet. You're
Animal
only 3
Crossing
things down on the list. How have you forgotten the first 2?
and Doom Eternal. But I don't have a job right now.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I'm going to get paid for the next few weeks, but I'm not making any more money after that.
Yes. But I mean, that's why you file for unemployment. And
But I did the unemployment calculator. It's like 50 to 60% of my normal,
yeah, I know, but
Which
it's
is-
money.
It could be nothing.
that's going to go straight to my fucking bills.
I get that, but it's not going to put you negative.
Yeah.
At least if you're smart
Well,
about
I mean,
it.
I'm already negative 60,000, so it's fine.
Yeah, well, that's what debt does to you.
Go ahead with your Lock and Key spoiler. So.
Well, no, first of all, I'm just going to say, it's like, if you don't want to hear any spoilers for Lock and Key, this is a good place to check
Have a
out.
good night
Bye.
And thank you
Or
so
day.
much for watching.
or anytime.
More than likely, at some point during the period of midnight to midnight.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, so Lock and Key. I totally called the Gabe thing. Like way,
Yes!
way early.
That made me feel so smart.
Okay, yeah, Cheyenne called it pretty. Didn't call that specifically pretty early, but she almost immediately was just like, something's wrong with him. Like, he's creepy. He's way too
Yeah.
desperate.
I was
for,
like, he knows something. I
Yeah,
was like,
he's
"Mm."
trying to. And I had a similar feeling. I was like, he's trying to get something out of Kinsey,
Yep.
and something is amiss.
Something's afoot.
I called the Lucas thing almost immediately.
You did.
I can't reasonably say one way or the other because that's not even a thing they try and hide in the comic.
I mean,
It's like-
they took some things and they tried to make them twists.
Yeah, no, they did. It was very much just like one of those things where it's like, hey, well, lady, is Dodge. You learn Dodge's name like the third issue, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then like almost immediately you see like Lucas interacting with Ellie, and it's just like it's not meant as much of a secret. At least I don't remember it being. If it was, I figured it out really early reading the graphic novels. But like overall, it's like that wasn't meant to be some huge like revelation. It was just like, oh fuck, and you're just watching the manipulation happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, the Lucas thing, that was pretty easy to call. The Gabe thing, there was always something off about that guy, but Gabe is not a character in the comics. He's not a person. Kind of consolidated a couple of different roles. Some roles were kind of shifted around, like I said. But I was immediately suspicious of Gabe for that reason. I'm like, no, there's something up. And then it cemented it to me when they introduced the identity key through Duncan's memory. I thought that was just going to be a quick allusion to it, and then it was going to come up as a revelation when it came to Gabe. Didn't think they were going to actively use it so much in the plot before that.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm like, okay, so then, who could Dodge be masquerading as? I'm like, Gabe, new in town, kind of sketchy, getting in.
Desperate.
Yeah. Oh, man. Nothing like being... I mean, obviously, at this point we know, like, the person who was Dodge is long since gone. Like, Lucas is basically dead. Whatever was masquerading in his body, this demon as they call it, But still, nothing like still kind of being Lucas. And then, like, making out with your best friend's daughter and then immediately going to having sex with your best friend's son. In one night.
It's so weird.
I'm like, this is
If I called it too, I was like, they're gonna have sex. They're gonna have sex.
Yeah.
And
The
Shai's
whole
like, they're
time.
teenagers. I'm like, they're gonna have sex.
yeah, that's what teenagers do a lot. I'm like, okay. The only person that he ends up successfully having sex with throughout the course of the show, despite having a love interest, and also he was almost having sex with Eden,
Yeah.
was the fucking villain of the show. Who was also actually a guy, but like, I don't even know. The
Technically?
non-binary demon, as,
Yeah.
as they call it at one point. So I'm like, yeah, basically. But like, yeah, you're just like, oh my goodness, this is squicky.
I don't know. Once they introduced like Lucas as Dodge, that's when Shai and I like started getting mixed up with our pronouns a lot.
That's
It was like,
fair.
let's just say they.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the safe option.
Yeah. We're like, wait, which one is which now?
They are
Confused.
all.
They are all.
Yeah, and then okay, so actually I do want to discuss this, and I'm sure you might know the answer. Well, okay, so is Eden getting hit? Is that a part of the comics, or is that a new?
I don't remember.
Okay, so maybe
To be entirely honest, I think so, but I don't recall.
because this is one of the things that if they don't stick to could be a plot hole in a sense, not an essential plot hole, but something I noticed because so it's established that Dodge, when Ellie used the what key is that? The echo key?
Yeah.
She summoned the echo of Lucas, who was possessed by the demon lady, Dodge. Well, Dodge because that was her nickname for Lucas, right? And so that's Lucas's echo.
Yes.
But also whatever came through the door possessing Lucas.
Yes.
So whatever came through the door, also something else is now possessing Eden.
Yes.
They say that Dodge cannot be killed by human means because she's an echo.
Yes.
But
Eden is not an
Eden
echo.
is not an echo, so
That is
Eden
correct.
should be able to be killed by human means.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think that's like going to be a thing that they're going to confuse. Like there is a big difference between Eden and Dodge.
Because like going into or going out of it, I guess that's the last scene. I was thinking of like, okay, I can see how this could be going, where like they then introduce Eden as like another Dodge. Where I'm like, that shouldn't be because she's not. So
No,
I'm
she's definitely gonna play a different role.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, that's why I'm okay with another season. Like I'd be down to watch another season because it interests me and I want to see how they play that out and everything else. And there's the keys.
Yes. And I mean, there's still quite a few keys to introduce, many of which are very fun and very iconic. We get to see the incredibly uncomfortable experience of watching one of our leads be dating secretly the villain.
Yeah, which is the wrong choice out of the two.
Yes.
Scott with 1T is definitely the one. What's wrong with her? I don't understand.
There was nothing like that scene where he's like, look, I'm not cool with us being in like
Polyamorous
relationship. And he's like, so, that's how that is. And she's like, okay, then, well, and he's like, I guess we'll be friends. She's friends. And then the hug, and he's like, God damn it, she didn't pick me.
And I was like, God damn it, she didn't say, oh no, it's okay, I choose you.
Nope, not going to happen.
So upset.
Yeah.
Kinsey Dunn.
Kinsey, without her fear, is an incredibly frustrating character.
Really stupid.
And that is the majority of her character.
Yeah, that's really what annoyed me.
Yeah. Okay, that was my main issue with her at the end. I'm like, why are you choosing the creepy one?
To her, he's not creepy.
Okay, he's so creepy.
Yeah. Super weird.
That's how it goes.
He's so desperate.
He's just really, really, he's all about this shit. He's just like, yeah, I'm all on board for this. Oh, I'm super supportive. All in this. And like her without that fear, like kind of like giving her doubt is probably just like, this guy totally gets me.
Dope.
And you're like, this is why human beings have fear. You stupid bitch.
It's called caution.
Yeah, it's sort of healthy. It's sort of healthy. It's kind of what keeps you from having all of your friends go down into a cave right before freaking tide goes up.
Kind of what keeps you alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeps
She
you alive.
would have died.
Yep.
So freaking annoying.
Man.
And it's fun, like really going back. Cause like I had my theory about Gabe, but like obviously I wasn't certain, but I'm pretty confident. But like it's fun rewatching things and like all of his like altruistic actions you realize are like manipulation, or he was in no risk, or they were in no risk at all. Because like staying in the cave to rescue Kinsey's obviously going to be helpful for furthering their goals, but also if Dodge fails to get Kinsey out of that cave, what is Dodge gonna do? Drown?
Yeah. Nope.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say my favorite episode of the season was episode 7, which is when, they get a visitor at Key House.
Oh, yeah.
I
yeah,
don't remember what this
I'm
is.
blanking the kid's name.
Sam.
Sam.
That's
That's my favorite episode of the show.
Oh,
when
that
Sam-
was such a good episode.
It was a great episode. Like, it's kind of what I wish the entire show was.
Fucked up
Yeah.
episode.
It's a super fucked up episode.
Yeah,
But
it was
yeah.
So that's what. Yeah, you're right. That's what the whole show should.
It's like that's the quality I wish the whole show was at, because like
Yeah.
all of the character writing felt really on point. Everyone felt like they had a role to play. It was the one time of the show where I was like totally on board with the mom.
Yeah.
Because like you got what she was doing. She was
Yeah.
desperate to protect her kids, but you understood like why she was pushing certain buttons, because like Sam had answers that she needed.
Yeah.
And like all this shit, you had an antagonist in the show who like obviously along the way, like I mean, you don't agree with anything he's doing, but you become totally sympathetic to what's going on with him.
Yeah.
And it's
like,
just,
oh, you poor kid.
it's just this whole trajectory, like, and it does a great job because I mean, really, Sam prior to that episode isn't really a character. You see him a couple times in the first episode. You get like glimpses of him like from moment to moment when Dodge would visit him and stuff. But that is like his showcase episode as a character, and it is a great little arc, and it makes like other parts of the show feel more frustrating by comparison because it's literally just like it feels like they got a different writer to come in. It like literally feels kind of like Joe Hill came in to pen that episode, and the rest of the writers were like, "Oh yeah, this is what we should be trying to do."
Yeah, because like that episode really humanizes Sam too.
Yes,
and
a
like
lot.
it does a lot, and a lot of this show is about like grief and like depression and that, and like sort of like mental health awareness and things, and specifically the character of Sam. It really like it humanizes him as, you know, a victim of manipulation and like and his own like social disorders and personality disorder, and it's super interesting and well done.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
The way they end it, so sad.
I know, but hey,
Oh,
he's still around.
Yeah,
They never show him again.
I know they don't. He will come back.
yeah,
I wish they would have done like just a slight glimpse. Like
I know.
just like a little thing,
Man.
maybe at the end.
Just to
But-
remind you that like I mean he is dead, but his ghost is still out there.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we didn't forget him.
Because yeah, that's really how it works. I mean, the show doesn't completely cement it, but I think they make it pretty clear that like, yeah, if you're out there as a ghost and the door gets shut,
It's like you're done.
yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
But you stay as a ghost. And so yeah, he's out there, and he still has a small role to play in the story if they keep it from the comic.
Yeah, the last words that Dodge tells him before he dies is
Fucked up.
Yeah.
I know.
That's why I liked it though, because I'm like, this feels like what the show should be. It's just messed up everywhere.
It's the that is I think also why I like it so much is that is the show that felt the most like the graphic novel. Like this is when it super aligned with where the graphic novel was. There's still like some little like whimsical stuff, but like this is dark, this is serious, this is like good and fascinating and sad and heart-wrenching and like all this stuff, and you're just like, oh man, I'm super down for this. Well, we're done with that arc. Moving on. I was like, fuck. Damn it. But I mean, the episode did a lot. Not only, I mean, it gave you a lot of answers to a lot of questions. It asks a lot of new questions that are really important. And it gives you like this incredibly powerful thing. And it does a lot of things that end up like setting the stage for the finale. And I liked the last two episodes too. Like I thought they were pretty good. I thought they had some pacing issues and stuff, but and just like weird contrivances like, well, mom's out getting coffee with this dude. It's like the odds of you being home right now are pretty high. You just conveniently
They really just didn't want her there.
they really didn't, and they had no idea what to do with her when she was there.
Yeah.
And it's like the whole her being drunk to having to understand what's going on with the supernatural shit. You're just like, well, that's a rough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, the revelation all about like Duncan and why his memories are missing and all this other crap. There's a lot that they do. A lot of the stuff that I think is pulled from the comics is done a little worse than the comics do it. Like that's straight out of the comics and stuff. But, you know, hey, it's still a fun show. I really did enjoy it. I do want to see where it goes just because it is different enough that like, even though I do have the source material and I do want to reread the graphic novels, after watching the show, I would still feel like mourning over the show if it never got renewed because, you know, I never get to see where this story goes and these versions of these characters and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, overall, it's probably a better show than the Runaways.
Yeah. Although, I mean, it doesn't have my character, you know?
Yeah,
'Cause-
It's
no
not
Nico.
yeah, there's no Nico. Runaways, I'm watching.
Runaways has higher highs and lower lows.
Yeah. Higher highs, lower lows. Lock and Key is like consistent.
It's like a consistent 7 out of 10.
Yeah. But I have a character to latch onto in Runaways because everything she does is awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, in these last few episodes, she's going her own way, which I don't.
I'm prepared to see where this goes.
It's
More
just because
magic.
you're so on board with this
I
character.
know. She gets cooler
She's-
every episode.
She's basically like Teen Titans Raven for the
Yes.
Runaways.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
That's
like,
kind of how I imagined her this whole time.
It's fucking badass.
Sometimes she's the only one capable of doing things too. Sometimes they get in situations. I'm like, what's the point of you? Why are you here?
Jesus.
Hey, for a good portion of the time, it's like, Gert, why are you here? Because up until this season, they don't give her anything. I mean, she has a dinosaur she can communicate with, but she doesn't do anything.
I'm still shocked as hell they kept that from the comics.
I mean,
She literally says thanks for the power up. Remember there's a part where Dale, her dad, is like training her, and she's like, "Hey, thanks for the power up. I get to do things now." Because other than that, she's a lookout, and she's a bad lookout.
If all you can do with your group of friends is be the lookout, you better be the best fucking lookout ever.
The car is like turning into the place, and she's like, "Oh shoot!" Text them; they're already there. Just like, it's not. Sometimes I wonder.
yeah.
Also, like, what's his name, Alex? Sometimes I'm like, I know you're the smart kid, but
Are you really smart?
are you really smart? You don't act like you're smart right now. You're only smart when it's convenient
For the
to
plot.
you,
Or the-
and for the plot. Yeah,
Bad writing, there's nothing quite like it.
they don't.
And to be
fully-
fair, it's hard to do that with a character, like, honestly.
Hard
Like,
to write poorly.
no. It's actually really easy to write characters poorly. It's quite hard to write characters well. But, you know, stop fucking up.
Yeah. Also, the line of logic they give Carolina, it's not good. Sometimes.
The sheer amount of eye rolling that has to happen. I've said it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. I think,
Yes, you're not going to watch this. We get
I
it.
think I really want to watch this show.
All right. So thank you for listening. Go watch Marvel's Runaways on Disney Plus.
Watch
And
Lock and Key.
tell us your
Watch Locke
opinion.
Key.
No, seriously, for multiple reasons, watch Lock and Key,
No, dude.
not the Runaways,
If you have nothing else, maybe watch The Runaway.
because I want Lock and Key renewed,
Oh,
and Runaways
true.
is already canceled. Who gives
know
a
what?
fuck who watches it?
You're right, Kyle. You're right.
Let's get a lot of people watching Lock and Key.
So Lock and Key can improve
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
grow.
Yes.
Because this is only
And-
season 1. They're still figuring things out.
And Ahsoka Tano.
Oh yeah. Also, randomly thrown at the end here, news is that Ahsoka Tano, as played by Rosario Dawson, is going to be showing up in The Mandalorian season 2, apparently as a potential backdoor pilot for her own live-action show on Disney Plus. That's cool. I love Ahsoka. A lot of people love Ahsoka. That's why this is happening. Rosario Dawson is a great actress. Yada 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 yada. Moving on. We don't have a lot of time.
It's going to be a long time too before that comes out.
God knows.
We're looking at maybe 2 years,
I think
depending on how long this takes.
I think realistically, second season of that show will probably come out next year at some point.
End of next year. Oh, that reminds me, as a closing thing. With all the delays and not cancellations, just delays of Netflix, we have one thing coming. Umbrella Academy.
Of course. 'Cause it was
Umbrella
already in
Academy
post-production.
is
right?
not delayed, guys. It's still coming. I'm so excited. So happy.
Umbrella Academy season 2.
Woohoo. Because
Woohoo.
they were done
I still
in
haven't seen the first
November.
season.
I haven't finished it. I have the last 2 episodes to watch,
guys
but I
suck.
already know how it ends.
Okay, fine.
That's
Kyle.
why I stopped watching, because I
Fine.
mentioned to somebody that I was watching it, and they're like, "Oh my god, that ending!" And they just said it, and I'm like, "Well, I kind of saw something like that coming, but I wish you
Yeah.
hadn't fucking said anything," and that kind of killed my momentum.
like
I
how
will
Cheyenne-
finish it before the second season is out because I like the show.
It's a great show.
Like O'Shine has explained the entire plot to me, especially the plots of future adaptations.
Well, that sounds annoying as hell.
Look, he said he didn't want to watch it. So I was like, well, this
She
is my
wanted-
chance to rant.
She wanted to rant about it.
Because like I was holding out and then he was like, I'm just never going to watch this. And I was like, well, I'm telling you everything then. Because I was reading the graphic novel.
Yeah.
Oh, and the spin-off graphic novel is coming out in June, I think. I don't remember. For Klaus, my favorite character. Coming out. It's gonna be fun. It's set during the time when everyone is apart. So that's gonna be interesting. He must have had a life full of not knowing where he is.
Fair
Because
enough.
he's high.
Yes,
all
all
the
the
time.
time. honestly, my guess would have been it would have taken place when he was in a certain place in the past. Let's say that would have been my guess on when.
I know, yeah.
Because I feel like that would be an interesting spinoff.
I don't know. They said it's the decade before they come back. So
Okay.
All right.
either way,
Well, thank you all for watching and listening.
watch Lock and Key.
Yes, we
Please.
will probably return next week if nothing else happens.
I mean, I guess that's fair, but
Yeah.
I'm working under the assumption we're going to keep doing this,
yeah.
Yeah.
and
only 3 of
realistically,
us.
and realistically, we could try and figure out something if we need to do it remotely.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a microphone if we have to Skype in.
So you'll be seeing us. You'll be hearing from us unless we're all dead.
Even then, I'll haunt you.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Haunter.
Oh, if we did watch the season finale of A Haunter on Rooster Teeth.
Where they
I
find
literally
out.
don't even know what the fuck that is.
It's Achievement
Okay.
Hunter's ghost hunting show. It's
Yeah.
fun to watch.
I
Watch it.
never mind.
Have a
Their
great
premise was
week.
wrong. Hug more, taunt less. Have a great week.
Yes. Check in on your loved ones and
But like from a distance.
yes, from
Yeah,
a
from a
very
distance.
from
Call
a
them.
remote distance. And
You know that call button on your cell phone? Use it.
I don't know
What?
what that is.
Exactly. Discover it.
My cell texter?
Cell texter. Yes.
They do
But
more
yeah,
than one thing.
so thank you for doing your part in not spreading the coronavirus.
And if you aren't doing your part,
fuck you.
fuck
Screw
you.
You're making our lives worse.
Like, we're not over here like panicking about this, I'd say. I'm not. But at the same time, you just got to be conscious. You got to be, like, even if you're not afraid of getting sick.
You will get someone else sick.
Yeah, almost definitely.
If you're not afraid of, because I was talking to one of my supervisors about this too, and she was saying like, oh, she just hopes she's asymptomatic and doesn't have to deal with it. I'm like,
That's worse.
no, you're gonna want to make sure you don't talk to people or touch people or be next to people.
Stay away from that supervisor
Yes.
this whole outbreak because they just really hope that they're a carrier.
Yes. So do your part in not spreading it.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily do your part in not catching it. Just do your part in not spreading it.
Try not to catch it.
yeah, that's part of not spreading it.
Yeah.
The best way to not spread a disease
not
is not
catch
to
it?
get it in the first place.
Yeah.
Abstinence.
Makes the heart grow fonder.
Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Unlike that one lady who, as she's telling you, don't touch your face, licks her finger.
There was the press conference earlier. I don't know if it was. I feel like it was Governor Newsom's decree, like the actual lockdown. One of the people in the background was just touching their face. I was like, oh no.
Patient 0.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. My name is Chase.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Cheyenne. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.